Welcome to Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast.
I want to set.
It's my second-hand wonder, a thing that recovers.
Hey, it's JD here, back for another week of riffling through the catalog of seminal indie rock band Pavement, looking for anything we can find that might lead us closer to the operating goal of maybe someday perhaps meeting Malcolmus. Hope you are doing well. The U.S. continues to be going through a bit of turmoil where COVID is concerned. I hope anybody listening in any of those areas is safe and their family is safe and sound and just everybody is all good, you know? We packed up the family automobile this past week, Sunday, and headed east to the coast. And it's interesting because normally there are no provincial borders per se. I mean, there are borders. You cross through an area and there's a sign that says you're now entering New Brunswick, for example. In this instance, there are, actual border crossings set up, and you have to have paperwork filled out saying what you're doing and where you're going. And we have to self-isolate here in this cottage by the ocean with beer delivery and grocery delivery for 14 days. So I don't know how I'm going to persevere. It's going to be tough. But, I think if you send old JD some good thoughts, I'll make it through all right, unscathed, as it were. So there's that. I'm using a portable rig here. I'm going into my laptop computer with no preamp, so it probably sounds like garbage, and I apologize for that. I'm just using an SM58 microphone, which is a lovely microphone. It's a industry standard. Not what I normally use on the pod, but it's a great, rock and roll microphone. I feel like swinging it about like Roger Daltrey right now and, really just getting into things. But I think instead I'll sit here in this chair and listen to some Pavement with you. And, we'll go about things in that manner. So there's that. I want to get to a couple emails. It's been a couple weeks since we've listened read an email, and I think it's really, sort of an important thing. You guys take the time to write. I like to make sure that I can get to them on the show to read them. Oftentimes you're correcting me or letting me know what's what, and that's a good thing. That's a real good thing. So let's get into this. We've got an email here from our friend Michael, and he says, "Hey man," the subject of the email is three-sided records. So you've heard me talk a lot about Wowie Zowie being a three-sided record, which is sort of strange to me that a label would give you access to 4 sides and only want you to record on 3. I would think they would either want you to record on all 4 or, say, hey, ditch 6 songs and give us an LP, just a single LP. But that wasn't the case in Pavement's case, and you heard me talk about that quite a bit. So Moik has some information, it seems. He says, "Hey man, you probably already know about this, but the British comedy group Monty Python famously put out a single three-sided record, Matching Tie and Handkerchief, in 1973, which had one standard side, and the second side had 2 concentric spiral grooves that, depending where you drop the needle, played one of 2 completely different album sides. Pretty cool, eh? Not only that, the record came in a box with an actual matching tie and handkerchief, the packaging of which stated you receive a free record with the purchase of this tie and handkerchief. I've never actually seen the record, but I've been hearing about it for a long time. Moik. Now, that's really cool. I had not heard of that record, and that makes me feel dumb because I like to stay on top of, comedy. And Monty Python, of course, is in the Mount Rushmore of comedic sketch groups or content providers, as we call them now. And that's a good thing. But this is still just two sides. It's just got different grooves that you can play to give yourself different album sides. So yeah, that is cool, Moik. I think that's fucking fascinating. But it's still, not giving Monty Python an extra piece of vinyl with which to work, which they did do with Pavement. So, I'm still left scratching my head here. It's an interesting thing, and I find it fascinating. So there's that. I've also got a nice note here from our friend Todd, and he says, "Whoa, did I lose that one? Shit. Nope, I got it here. It's called, it says re-extradition lyrics. So this is going back to when we talked about extradition. And he says, "Hey, JD, I don't want to burst your bubble." Uh-oh. "But I strongly suspect that Malk's story about dissidents." Okay, let me give you some context here. You might recall when we went through the Ray Gun album descriptors, there was some conversation about a group of dissidents and two people falling in love in a homosexual love scandal, I suppose, as it were. And so back to the email, Malk's story about the dissidents is only tangentially related to the song. My first thought when I heard it was that it was a pure fabrication. He is a genius, after all, because he did not want to say that he was just super high, fucking around with Westy, and had no idea what the song was about. I believe the preferred method for Central American despots to get rid of political dissidents was to take them up en masse in a C-130 and push them out either over the ocean or over unpopulated stretches of high desert. But then again, it could have been a real story that he read and which was on his mind, and when he was working on that track, he went there. Incidentally, my read on the last lines of the song are, "Spoken barriers you hurl, harsh words meant to drive someone away. Watch you curl, as in curl up and die." But I always get the sense that Stephen is serving up a mix of words that he wrote and free associated words that come out of the subconscious. They might be assigned some sort of meaning after the fact, but I don't think he's really trying to say anything in a literal sense while he's singing. When you meet him, you can ask him. Todd. Thanks, Todd. I've dabbled in songwriting in my day, and you keep a notebook. You keep a notebook, and you put phrases and ideas, maybe stanzas and things like that in the notebook. And then when you get to jamming and you start putting words to music, you obviously have space to fill, and sometimes you fill it with those notebook phrases or just things that you brain fart out, and that's okay. I do think you're right that oftentimes a singer songwriter can assign context to a song post facto. They've written the song, it's come out, they've got it together, and now they're going to say this is what it's about because that one phrase or that one stanza was what it was about, but the rest of the song sort of fills up space. I think that there's a lot of singers that do that. Now there are a lot of songwriters that also sit down to write a song about tarantulas in the wintertime, and they're quite good at writing that song. But that was never my bent. I could never sit down and say I'm going to write a song about tarantulas in wintertime and spit one out. It would be very different, Anyway, so there's that. Hey, let's listen to Pueblo. That's where we're up against this week. We are working on Pueblo, and we're in the last half rather, of side 3, and we're starting to slow it down. This is a real, sort of meandering, lazy guitar to start, and I don't know, it's lovely. Like, it really truly is lovely. I dig this song quite a bit, but I if I were to summarize it with one word, it would be sort of lazy. There's just this laziness to it, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I mean that in a very caring, loving sense. It's sleepy. The song is sleepy, and it just lets you curl up and do your thing, and that's okay. I think this song is. I'm holding on to the microphone, and it's really uncomfortable. Normally, I have a boom stand, and it's just different. I feel like I'm monologuing here. I feel like I'm talking to an audience, like when I did stand up, and it's uncomfortable because, frankly, the reaction in this room is similar to when I did stand up. There's just nothing coming back. So there's that. Hey, let's listen to Pueblo on Meeting Malcolmus, a Pavement podcast.
One trial down Spanish County. Ladies always turn up to watch them fall. And the hands, they bind you like you wanna be broken. But the land is coming. It's coming up, gold and silver streets. When you hit sand, you can't buy sand. Close land, don't say what to make of you. Off my wrist, Jacob, you move up my wrist, Jacob, you move. When you move, you don't move, you don't move. Gonna try some things they try to do. Wondering for water and sand.
sort of just goes into nothing there at the end. I feel like, with my lazy sort of analogy, the song goes to sleep at the end. It puts itself to sleep. And again, not in a way that's boring, because I think the song is really exciting. I think there's something going on in there, and I don't quite know what. It's there's a dusty sort of feeling. There is a gosh, I don't know, but the instrumental, like the breakdown after the first chorus, is really cool. I love the playing, and then it sounds like the one guitar is getting ready to lift off, and then we go, right back into things. And I think that's I love the intro, and I love that you get to you hang for a good 4 seconds out of the intro. You hear that breath being taken, and the guitar starts back up with the lyric. It's good shit. This is a good song, and I think it probably could have done better, in a different place on the record. I don't know that people are listening, this late. Casual listeners, big fans, of course you're listening. I know, but as you get into the casual stuff, you don't listen to the end as often. You don't get there, and that's just the fact. So there's that. Let's take a look at Ray Gun here. I've got the Ray Gun thing somewhere, and okay, all right. Pueblo. It's a song about. Oh man. Oh, this is good that I gave you my little songwriting speech before, because this is going to tie in nicely with what Todd was talking about. Here's what SM has to say about Pueblo. It's a song about a mythic hanging in a small xenophobic California town. The sheriff, Alex Spanos, frames a handsome out-of-towner who has his eyes on Spanos' daughter. She comes to his rescue and ends up dying for her efforts as the Chargers fail to cover the spread. That's fucking spectacular. That is spectacular. And that is falls right into what we were talking about, in terms of lyrics, and how you can't, take them too literally, these SM descriptions, I should say, because as you get to the lyrics, there's nothing really in there about, Alex Spanos and one trial. Oh, okay, hold on. One trial down in Spanos County, ladies always turn up to watch them fall, and the hands they bind you like you want to be broken, but the land is coming, babe. It's coming up golden silver streaks. When you hit them, you can't buy sand in the gross land. Don't say what to make them feel. They got to take it off my wrist. Jacobs, you move it up my wrist. Jacobs, you move. When you move, you don't move. All right, I want a cigarette. All those trials and things they try to do while wondering over why we're insane. Damn land ho, won't you? I don't know about that last stanza there. I don't know if that's accurate. But that's Spanos County. So, again, maybe he had this, sort of story in his head, and that's where he went with it. Shame on me for not putting that together. It's, when I sing it, I don't know that I sing Spanos County. I don't know what I sing. Now I'm confused. This has got me confused. I'm a fucking train wreck. Oh my God. This is enormous. I'm going to go for a swim. I'm going to grab a beer, and I'm going to crack it open, and I'm going to go for a swim. So what do you think about that, muchacho? Take care. Be well, and I'll talk to you next week. All right. Aces.
Meeting Malcolmus, a pavement podcast, is a weekly affair. Connect with JD at meetingmalcolmus.com. Please support the pod by rating, reviewing, or sponsoring us at meetingmalcolmus.com. And hey, I'm social. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at Meeting Malcolmus.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.